Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the Thames Valley. Bereaved parents from Abingdon whose son took his own life join other families calling for better care and support for students in universities and colleges.
This is the first time that we stop being just a campaign pushing from the outside and have MPs speaking on our behalf.
Warnings of delays for 2 years for drivers in Hampshire, Berkshire and Surrey during work on a £317 million scheme to improve safety on the M25. Also tonight.
It reminds me of all the people that I know and some that are not with us now, and I feel sorry for them.
A poignant journey back to Normandy for the veterans of the D-Day landings, now all in their 90s.
And the festival that brings tears to the eyes, the hottest date in the foodie calendar. But how hot is hot? Good evening. The parents of a university student who took his own life in 2018 are calling for the introduction of a legal duty of care over young people in higher education.
Mark and Jackie Shanahan from Abingdon lost their 22-year-old son Rory while he was studying in Sheffield. They are part of the For the 100 campaign set up by bereaved parents whose petition calling for universities to have a statutory duty of care is being debated in Parliament.
Well, our political correspondent Phil Hornby is there for us this evening. Phil, how did today go?
Well, Matt, the parents think just having this debate in Parliament is a big breakthrough in their campaign. The debate began about 4:30. We can see pictures from inside Parliament now, and you can see lots of family members, lots of parents in the public gallery listening to MPs, including the Shanahans from Oxfordshire.
This is the first time that we stop being just a campaign pushing from the outside and have MPs speaking on our behalf and taking up the baton from us.
He was public debating officer at his university and he would have loved to have been at this debate and explored the same arguments. It's a sad irony really that we're here today at this debate. I think that he would be horrified that we were doing anything that mentioned him at all in practice. He was quite shy.
We don't want sympathy, we want change. Universities have been dragging their feet for the last 5 years. They've had excellent guidelines in place, but the process of change has been absolutely glacial. So we need MPs to step up on our behalf now and really make that change happen. Because if there isn't a law in place, it'll be another 5 years, could be another 500 student deaths, and universities will still just be offering us hearts and flowers.
So this is about imposing a legal duty of care on universities, and the campaign is backed by a former Education Secretary who's also a Hampshire MP.
We've imposed an awful lot on them to do other things. We have an office for students to guarantee kind of quality of courses. We've just imposed legislation on them to guarantee free speech. Why wouldn't we impose something on them to try and guarantee the safety and the lives of our children?
The government's position at the moment is it's not needed. Universities UK say it's not practical or proportionate. But lots of MPs are supporting this campaign. More than 100 students take their lives each year.
OK, Phil, for the time being, thank you.
In other news, a refugee responsible for a terror attack in Reading could not be deported because he was awaiting trial, accused of assaulting an emergency worker and damaging property prior to the incident. James Furlong, David Wales and Joe Ritchie Bennett died after being stabbed in Forbury Gardens in June 2020. Kerry Sadala was convicted of their murders and told he would never be released from prison. A pre-inquest review has heard Sadala was also accused of eating a mattress at a police station and spitting on an officer in 2019. The charges were later dropped a year, just days before the attack. The full inquest will take place next year. Gary Furlong, the father of James, made a statement to ITV News earlier.
Our principal wish remains that lessons may be learned and effective measures put in place to prevent other suffering the tragedy that we've endured. We trust that everyone else involved in this inquest process will work tirelessly towards the same goal, so that the events that led to the deaths of our beloved James, David and Joseph will not be repeated.
A £317 million scheme to improve safety and reduce congestion for drivers heading on and off the M25 will be worth it. That's according to road bosses.
Well, drivers will face delays until 2025 when complex construction work around Junction 10, where the motorway meets the A3, is due to be completed.
Well, hundreds of trees will be cut down. Ecologists say the felling is necessary to improve the environment. James Dunham has more.
Each day, 280,000 vehicles travel between the A3 and M25, the motorway's busiest junction and one of the country's most dangerous, as drivers often weave between lanes last minute.
We're seeing at the moment collisions at around about a daily basis. Some of them are fairly minor, they're just wing mirrors or just simple shunts. Some of them are a lot more serious, as we saw just 2 weeks ago on the M25, when the M25 was closed for 7 hours.
And what do you say to drivers who are getting really frustrated about having to wait in the hold-ups caused by the building works?
Please bear with us. In 2 years' time, you really will start to see some benefits.
Extra lanes are being created to provide more capacity. Bridges from pre-made concrete blocks constructed in Nottinghamshire will replace traffic lights to cut queues. Currently, reduced speed limits and narrow lanes are in place to give workers enough room for lots of heavy lifting. This project is logistically complex, not least because 8 new bridges are being constructed, with parts of the M25 set to shut across several weekends next year, the longest planned closures in this motorway's history.
The A3 will be surfaced with a low noise material.
Land the size of 16 hectares will be used to replace the open space needed for construction, while this, the UK's first Heathland Bridge, will connect walkers, cyclists and horse riders with Wisley and Ockham Commons, areas where heathland is being restored to enhance the habitats for animals and birds such as nightjar and woodlark. In terms of getting to this point, you've had to cut down hundreds of trees. People will be really concerned to know that that's been part of this process. Wasn't there a less destructive way to go about it?
They might be, but it's about having the right habitat in the right place. And this all was originally heathland. These trees were planted, I think, just after the Second World War as pine plantation, and so they are all going to be taken for their intended use. So they'll be sent to timber mills and such around the local area.
Major road projects often evoke fears of irreplaceable environmental damage. National Highways say the sharp focus here is on ecological green improvements. James Dunham, ITV News, beside the A3.
Well, ambulance workers in the south will be offered the option to wear body cameras due to an increase in assaults. Staff in the region suffered more than 2,000 violent attacks over the last 5 years while on duty, according to a new investigation by the GMB Union. South East Coast Ambulance Service, which covers North Hampshire, is rolling out the technology to all 25 of its trust locations.
Police are appealing for help to find an elderly woman who's gone missing in Reading. Patricia Ash, who's 74, was last seen in Conisbrough Avenue in Caversham at around 11 p.m. on Saturday. It's thought she was wearing a red cardigan, white pyjama top and dark blue shoes. In a statement on social media, her family says she has dementia and are concerned for her welfare.
The closure of a busy road in Reading has begun for 2 weeks so repairs can be carried out. It's after a sewer collapsed on Church Street in Caversham. A road diversion is in place with drivers urged to plan ahead. Thames Water has apologised for the inconvenience.
Now you're watching ITV News Meridian in the Thames Valley. Still to come.
Can you handle the heat? We're at a chili eating competition where visitors can try something a little different.
And many of us have been blessed with plenty of blue skies over the last couple of weeks, but are there signs of a change on the way? I'll be back with a full forecast where you are a little later.
More from us, of course, online. Details on the screen. There's the phone number as well. And as ever, you can follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now, veterans of the Normandy landings are in France ahead of commemorations tomorrow, marking 79 years since D-Day. The invasion in 1944, in which more than 150,000 troops crossed the English Channel, eventually led to the end of the Second World War in Europe.
The few survivors of that extraordinary military operation, launched from ports in southern England, are now well into their 90s have been helped in making the journey. Derek Johnson has more.
Taxi cabs bring veterans, all of them in their 90s, to Portsmouth, en route to Normandy, where many saw action 79 years ago. Among them Roy Smith, who landed after D-Day with the Dorset Regiment.
He was sent across as reinforcements to the Dorsets.
And they suffered quite badly on D-Day?
They did bad, yeah. And we landed on the beach at Sword Beach, I think it was. We got into Caen, and that's when it all started, fireworks.
D-Day was the Allied invasion of occupied Europe, the largest seaborne invasion in history.
We was sweeping the channel looking for U-boats. Reminds me of all the people that I know and some that are not with us now, and I feel sorry for them.
Bill Gladden flew into Normandy on a glider from Bryce Norton.
We had a tank and 6 motorbikes on board. The big Hamilcar, that was the biggest aircraft in the world at that time, and that's how I came in. Spread eagles on the top of a Tetrarch tank.
The charity specialises in battlefield trips for those who served in World War II.
We like to take them to see where their friends may have fallen, their comrades, and also for them to be with other like-minded people.
I like going back. It not only brings back bad memories, it brings back good memories as well.
I've met all the veterans now. I love all the veterans. I find that very fascinating, how being in the war, of which they had absolutely no choice, but how it shaped their lives, and it has shaped their lives tremendously.
Mary Scott was a switchboard operator who passed coded messages to troops from a secret base in Hampshire.
I'm always very moved by it, very moved, because to me, I can only basically think that some of those people maybe that I was talking to on that day may have died.
The veterans are attending services and visiting memorials, paying tribute to fallen comrades. Derek Johnson, ITV News, Portsmouth.
Now the ITV Evening News continues with the national and international news at 6:30. With more, here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up in the programme, a judge expresses his surprise at the Duke of Sussex's absence from court on the first day of his case against Mirror Group newspapers. Prince Harry's lawyers said he flew in last night after celebrating his daughter's birthday, but he's been accused of wasting court time. Also ahead.
Firstly, are you okay? I hope so.
Holly Willoughby returns to This Morning, saying she feels let down by Philip Schofield. And the Full Monty Boys are back. We hear from the stars of the 90s film as they reprise their roles for a new TV series. Do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Got our own hot stuff coming up in a little while because we're talking about chilies and they are really hot.
Before that, let's cool Matt down with some water. Here's Sarah Cole.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Well, it might be football's closed season, so no action on the pitch, but plenty going on behind the scenes. Nowhere more so than in Portsmouth, where Pompey in the community are working against the clock to complete a multi-million-pound community sports complex. They are, though, appealing for help to finish the project after soaring costs almost caused production to grind to a halt. The John Jenkins Stadium recently received a lifeline grant of government youth investment funding worth £744,000. For the finishing touches, though, developers are appealing to local people.
Still very much a building site, but beginning to take shape. The shell of this £5.2 million development is almost complete, ready to provide a central community hub available to all to play, learn and train. But in the current financial climate and with building costs soaring, the project needs some extra help to see it over the line.
Pitches are almost ready there. We've got the carpets behind us, so they just need rolling out and the rubber crumb and sand on them. And the building's almost watertight. So yeah, it's almost more frustrating now. We are so close. Yeah, everything that sort of could have worked against us has sort of conspired to make it the ultimate challenge, really, to get it over the line.
The John Jenkins Stadium, named in memory of one of Portsmouth Football Club's most cherished supporters, will include pitches, study rooms, dance and boxing studios and an outdoor eco area. Open 52 weeks of the year with programmes for people of all abilities and an emphasis on accessible activities for children.
The day we open, those activities can start, and I think to give the kids who can really deserve it and have few opportunities, the opportunity to come and play on the best facility in the city will be so exciting. But we've just got to enable that.
And for the finishing touches, Claire and her team are appealing for community support, whether it's a company able to furnish a room or an individual who could help with some planting in the grounds.
So far we've had the CCTV company come along, put cameras in all at cost for us. We've got someone doing the flooring. We've got a company providing computers, which is absolutely incredible, and it makes it almost more of an exciting project because it's a really community project. Really and truly, we're an open book.
And when this project is complete, its facilities are already booked out by people who simply can't wait to make it their own. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. It'll be brilliant once that is complete. Meanwhile, at Brighton, reports suggest Liverpool are hoping to sign midfielder Alexis McAllister by the end of this week. The World Cup winner is thought to be closing in on the move to join Jurgen Klopp's team. And thousands of triathletes descended on Oxfordshire this weekend for the annual Blenheim Palace Triathlon. Just under 5,000 people took part in events across the weekend, with some geared to beginners and others, including the Weekend Warrior competition, inviting people to take part in as many back-to-back triathlons as they could manage over the 2 days. Well done to them. I think one might be enough, don't you?
Yeah, more than enough.
Sarah, thank you. Next time, we're launching this year's search for a fantastic fundraiser to represent our region at the Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards, and we need your help.
Yes, it's time to say thank you to the people who work tirelessly to support charities and good causes of all sizes. Here's how you can get involved.
The Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards is one of the biggest events in the showbiz calendar. But it's the real people, not the celebrities, who are the stars of the show.
And each year, one fantastic fundraiser gets to represent ITV Meridian and attend the awards in London. They're even in with a chance of winning the overall ITV Regional Fundraiser of the Year award.
Last year, our regional fundraiser was Jack Jarvis from Hamble, who rode solo 8,500 kilometres from Europe to America, raising money for a brain tumour charity in memory of his late grandfather. And now we need your help to find this year's ITV Meridian winner. Here's the awards host to tell us why.
The Pride of Britain Awards are all about the special people who make our world a better place to live in. And the ITV Regional Fundraiser Awards is where you come in, because we're looking for those people who go that extra mile to raise money. We want you to nominate them. Now, it doesn't matter how much money or how little they raise. This award is all about how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and their selfless determination to inspire others.
So, if you'd like to nominate someone to be our Regional Fundraiser of the Year, you can head to our website. That's itv.com/Pride of Britain. You can only nominate individuals, and they must be aged 18 years old or over. If you are under the age of 18, please get permission from a parent or guardian before you nominate. The closing date for nominations is Sunday the 6th of August at 11:59 p.m. and full terms and conditions and our privacy notice can be found on our website. Now, thousands of people flocked to Winchester this weekend for one of the hottest events in the foodie calendar.
The Cheese and Chili Festival is in its 10th year, showcasing local producers and encouraging visitors to try something a bit different. Among the events, a chili eating competition where only the strongest survive. Rachel Hepworth was there for us.
3, 2, 1, yum yum!
It's one of the highlights of the festival, as long as it's other people taking part.
Make sure you chew it really well, please.
The As the heat gets turned up, only a few make it to the end, with a chili more than 2,000 times hotter than is normally tolerable. Today's winner is Callum.
I don't have a sense of smell, so it helps.
My stomach is on fire, my mouth is on fire, and I'm crying, so.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was great. Good experience, recommend to everyone.
But Winchester's Cheese and Chili Festival isn't just about the heat. It's about flavour and variety too, with cookery displays, a festival vibe and producers from across the region.
So really nice on a pizza, or we do Sunday roast with it.
Now this one is Trinidad Scorpion and Scotch bonnets. Fruity, but it lingers, it creeps up. Festivals are good. People try stuff which they think they can handle, chilies, but they have no idea, some of them. But then again, it's all part of the fun.
It's what people want nowadays. They want a day out and they want to buy something they can't buy anywhere else.
Oh, it's so important because these guys, you know, they're passionate about what they make. They want to have access to the local market. It's really hard for them to get into local supermarkets. So markets like this are a really important way for them to not only develop their own brand and products, but also introduce new tastes into the local community.
I'm a bit more, so I'll go like medium.
Yeah, not to be pretentious. I'm more here for the flavours than for the. So I'll go for the ones that I like the flavours of, rather than just like blowing the taste buds out. Are you a chili man yourself? Or?
Absolutely not. I can't take it.
And you're not sticking around for the chili eating then?
We've experienced that before.
Yes.
It's not a pretty sight.
But there were plenty of people willing to be a bit more adventurous, the chili cheese proving a big hit. Well, it would be rude not to.
Trinidad Scorpion chili cheddar, very, very hot. The hottest on the show, actually. Trinidad Scorpion chilies.
Yeah, it's creeping up on me, that one.
And for those with more sensitive palates, well, there were plenty of alternatives. Rachel Hepworth, ITV News in Winchester.
See, I do like a bit of spice and hotness, so where are you on the scale?
I think medium, if I'm honest.
You're a medium.
Yeah, I think the woman summed it up in that report for me as well. When the flavour goes and the heat is all you're left with, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that disappointing?
Yeah, no, it's not disappointing. But you know what shocked me? You know how they had the toilet rolls all kind of there. I was expecting like milk or yoghurt. So if you ever have kind of a chilli crisis, that's a good little tip.
Or the ice cream. We ought to say that was obviously Winchester. It's already taken place in Christchurch. But if you can handle the heat, the festival is in Swindon at the end of the month, and then in July, Chichester, and then Guildford. Okay.
Right, Pip's with us now. Pip. Do you like Chili's Festival?
Do you know, I'm a wimp. I think a bit of cracked black pepper is a bit too spicy for me, to be honest.
But you have got strawberry moons.
I have got strawberry moons, yes. And now you may remember, if you watched the programme on Friday, I said we had the June full moon on Saturday night. The skies were clear enough to see it. Let's take a look at a couple of the pictures we had. This one was taken by Graham rising over the Needles there. Now, the colour isn't to do with the fact that it's called the strawberry moon. That's because strawberries are ripening at this time of year. But nevertheless, definitely strawberry coloured due to the hazy conditions we had, scattering the light and giving us those warmer hues. And a similar scene in Portsmouth, this one taken by Alison Treacher. So yeah, all in all, a good spot.
Beautiful picture as well, and beautiful weather all over the weekend. It feels like this is going to go on forever, but there are signs that maybe not.
Yeah, that's right. So there are hints of a change. Of course, we've had high pressure very much in charge for a couple of weeks now. Lots of dry and sunny weather. But take a look a little further south and west. You can see just off the west coast of the Iberian Peninsula, we've got an area of low pressure. Now, over the next few days, that will nudge its way ever so slowly northwards. It's not going to affect us directly, but it will have some influence on our weather. So as it gets a bit closer, it's going to push the winds around to more of a southeasterly direction. We'll start to draw in something a little bit warmer from the near continent. Dare I say, we could by the weekend see temperatures edging up into the high 20s. It will also be a bit more humid. That's going to mean we're going to lose those fresh mornings, probably lose the cooler feel we've had around the coast over the last few days. And with low pressure edging that little bit closer, we could also have the potential for some thundery showers. I say the potential. High pressure is a stubborn old thing, especially so at this time of year, so it remains to be seen how things will develop as we head towards the end of the week.
OK, so if you like it hot, which we've already discussed, this could be the place to be. Let's keep our fingers crossed with a full forecast. Here's Pip.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
So for the time being at least, things look set pretty fair. A good deal of dry and fine weather over the next few days, some lovely sunny spells to come, but it will remain on the breezy side, especially so around the coast. And then those subtle changes towards the end of the week becoming a little more humid. We should lose that cool feel around the coast, but it will feel a little bit stickier in the mornings than it has done. Out there at the moment though, we're looking at fine conditions to end the day and clear skies to start the night. But as the night wears on, we will see more in the way of cloud encroaching from the east, spilling its way westwards. And of course, with the cloud cover and that breeze, it will be a pretty mild night. Temperatures probably down to around 8 or 9 Celsius at their lowest. Tomorrow morning then, cloudy initially, but it won't be long before that June sunshine gets to work, burning a good deal of the cloud off. Some lovely sunshine coming our way for the afternoon. And in that sunshine, temperatures on a par with today, really. Highs of 22 degrees Celsius, but again, that breeze, especially so around the coast, making it feel somewhat fresher here. And speaking of the coast, these are the times of high water for tomorrow. For Brighton there, just after 1 o'clock in the morning and around 1:30 in the afternoon. And then overnight into Wednesday, really a repeat performance. So the cloud encroaches again from the east, spilling its way westwards. So Wednesday, in effect, starting on quite a cloudy note. But as with the last few days, that cloud soon thinning and breaking, some lovely sunshine coming through. And then hints of a change later in the week, even the outside chance of a thundery shower.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
And of course, we are very much in the midst of pollen season. Grass pollen, the main issue at the moment, and levels over the next few days with lots of dry and fine weather on the cards will be in the high category. Bye-bye.
And just a moment, the ITV Evening News here with Mary Nightingale.
I'm back with your late update just after 10:30 this evening. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you very soon. Bye for now.